Hello again and welcome to Tips with Andrew. I am Andrew Sapiano. Thank you so much for joining me on this happy Sunday. I hope you guys are having an awesome weekend so far and are currently resting and relaxing for the amazing week that we are going to have ahead. I don't know what's going on with you, but I know it's going to be awesome and you're going to rock it out. I hope you rock out whatever hopes, goals, plans, dreams, ambitions you had and make it happen. Couple quick updates before we get started here. I have officially launched a weight loss course for beginners. It is an online digital course for download. Discover 5 little known secrets on how to lose weight. If you or somebody you know of is interested in dropping a few pounds now that, we are officially winding down the year, New Year's resolutions are going to become a thing, Christmas parties are happening soon. Like I mentioned, it is an online digital course for download that you can go through at your own pace and as your schedule provides you time. So definitely reach out to me. There's tons of cool stuff that comes along with the initial launch, and I'm super excited to get it out there. I know it's going to change people's lives. Next, we are officially in October, so the convention products are officially available now. The new Abode cleaning line. So if you or somebody you know of is interested in using less toxic products, or changing out the products that you have in your house for natural alternatives, definitely this is the line that is made for you. I'm super excited. We've already used a bunch of the products that we got and are already having amazing results. So definitely reach out to me, drop me a comment, send me a message, and I will definitely get you filled in on how to get started with that. Alrighty, so that's where I'm going to cut it off right there. I promise there's so much more going on over here. What a great time to be alive. I will tell you it is. So, with today being Sunday, what I actually wanted to talk about today was how to be prepared for the week ahead, right? Use Sunday as like a stepping stone, if you will, to the week ahead, to being prepared to, facing whatever challenges the week has, because and it really is, right? As much as, we are prepared for everything that comes at us, and as much as we can do all the planning, right? Life happens, and stuff always happens that really, send us off the wayside and make us really reconsider every decision that we've ever made in our lives. So that's why I wanted to come on here, and that's really what it is, right? We need to be prepared. As much as life hits us all the time, and we don't really, have an answer all the time, right? We need to be prepared as best we can. There is some things that we can do, some baseline things that we can do to help make our lives a little bit easier. That's where I wanted to come on, give some tips that help me just sort of make my week flow a little bit better, and help me to, from a time period standpoint, right? We live very busy on-the-go lifestyles, and we don't always have time to do everything that we need to in the day, right? That we can, and still have time to function as a human. So that's why there's a certain, a couple things that we can do on the weekend in specifically to help us to sort of, not really, but, quote unquote, have more time throughout the week. That just make our life so much easier. Just makes us less stressed, right? It's really what we want to do. We just want to be less stressed, right? There's so much going on in our lives already, and right? Why not just give ourselves a little bit of help, take 1 or 2 things off of our plate, and help ourselves that way. So with that, hopefully you get some value out of these tips, right? Hopefully they help you. Who knows? Maybe implement a tip or 2 into your own life, and just always, like always, if one of these don't help you, definitely come on here, tell me how that tip made no impact in your life, and how your life is actually worse because you heard that. I would love to hear that story behind that. So with that, the number one thing that we can do more than anything, and I love that I actually put this one number 1 for a reason, to help get ourselves prepared, it is practice positive self-talk, right? Give ourselves a positive pep talk, right? You're awesome. You are great. You're going to rock out this new thing. Especially nowadays, right? Everybody's in a kind of a transition period. I know that Tina's starting a new job in a little bit. She's super excited with that, right? So that's where, especially if you're starting a new endeavor, right? You definitely need to pump yourself up, rock out, whatever sort of pregame pep talk you need to in order to put yourself in that mindset, right? It really is a mindset more than anything when it comes to dealing with life in general, right? If you go into a situation, and whether it be the week ahead, right, a boss's meeting, a job interview, right, a weight loss plan, right, there's no matter what you embark on, you need to have a positive attitude towards it. You need to positively talk yourself up in order to make yourself have a better chance in order to get that, right? If you go into it and you're constantly telling yourself that you're not good enough and, who are you to be doing that job, right? And what happens if you lose weight, right? Then you're not going to fit into that certain crowd, or, if you fail, oh man, that's the other end of it, right? What if we do all this stuff and then we fail, right? I love that because, right? What if, right? What then what, right? It's not the end of the world. Everything happens and everything's going to continue to happen. There's going to continue to be circumstances in your life that arise, right? So that's why we need to positively talk ourselves up, right? Give ourselves a little bit of motivation, pep talk ourselves, right? You are awesome. You can rock it out. You are the greatest person. And, you just put yourself in the other person's shoes, right? If you're going for a job interview, of course they're going to hire you. Who else are they going to hire? You are the perfect candidate for the position that they need to fill. It is written all over your face. Or it is written all over your face that you are not good enough, right? It depends on your attitude going into it. So, for this coming week ahead, if you think that is going to be the greatest possible week that you could ever have and everything that you want to happen is going to happen, you have a very, I'm not going to say that with 100% certainty that you are going to accomplish all of your hopes, goals, plans, dreams, ambitions for the next week that you have. But I can promise you with 100% certainty that if you go into it thinking that it's going to be the worst possible thing that could ever happen to you in your life, chances are you're not going to have that leg up on it being positive, right? It's more often than not, you're going to bring to fruition that negative attitude that you have and that, whatever bad things you think are going to happen to you. Right? Why not try it? Try it out. And definitely, this is one for sure, 100%. If by you telling yourself that you're awesome and you're the greatest did a detriment to you and everything that you want in your life came crashing down, definitely come back to here. Tell me that made no difference in your life, and I would love to be proven wrong on that one. Number 2, know your schedule. This one is huge because we do live very busy on-the-go lifestyles. For me, I love using me as an example because I live a really weird lifestyle. For me, I have 10-hour shifts every single day, right, outside of Saturday and Sunday. But I work 10 hours a day, and if we're sleeping as much as we're, quote-unquote supposed to, I'm sleeping for about 8 hours every day. So that's 18 hours of my day that is already accounted for. So that means that I only have 6 hours in the day left to play with. And you better believe that I have to know what's going on in those 6 hours, or else time will fly by without me realizing it. And, things that are supposed to get done don't get done. And then that's just so much more on my plate for the next day when I, again, only have 6 hours to do it. So, if I get nothing accomplished in the 1 6-hour time period, then I've got to do 12 hours worth of work in another 6-hour time period, right? So, know your schedule. Especially other, outside things, hockey practice, right? Apple picking, parent-teacher night, whatever sort of field trip is happening at school right now. Maybe you have tickets to some sort of event that's going on. Maybe you have restaurant plans, right? Maybe it's a birthday coming up. Maybe there's holiday plans that's coming up. Halloween parties at work are coming up, right? So there's so much things that happen on our day or in our day already. And that doesn't even account for, having to eat properly, make dinner, right? I don't know. Do you really have an extra, actually, I'll get to that. Make dinner, and then do all the rest of the stuff that you need to get done without driving yourself completely insane, right? And then on top of the fact, right, we need to maybe find time to exercise, right? Maybe carve out a half an hour or an hour in the day. And then at the end of it, right, at the very end of the day, we need to find time to calm down, right? Wind down at the end of the night. Because I don't know about you, but for me, if I go hard all day and then try and just flip my brain off and like flip that switch and just go to sleep, it's very hard for me to do that. And I have a very hard time just flipping the switch and winding down, going to sleep. So for me, I need a little bit of wind down period. So that's another, half an hour, right? So we're left with very minimal amount of time in our day. That's why I say know your schedule. Know what's happening already. I like to talk about the non-negotiables in life, right? There is a few non-negotiables that need to happen, and that's why we need to know our schedule, because there is certain things in our life that we need to do that are already on the schedule. That's why we need to know that, so that we don't find ourselves in a situation where we have too much on our plate and not enough time. Number 3, meal prep. This was one that I was really waiting for. I was ready for this one. Meal prep is an amazing discovery that I have learned. And actually, I believe it was Tina that taught me this concept. I can't honestly believe that I would have thought of it on my own. So I'm going to give credit to Tina until she tells me otherwise. So this is amazing. It has been a huge help in both of our lives, and I don't foresee a possibility, a situation, a scenario in life where we don't focus on meal prep. Right now we don't have kids, right? Once we do have kids, that's going to be a whole nother element to our lives. So meal prepping will definitely become so much bigger, right? So I talked about last tip in the non-negotiables, right? There is a certain things that are non-negotiable. And this is why I like talking about meal prep, because you think about your day every day. Do you honestly have time in the morning is brutal, right? Do you honestly have time in the morning to make breakfast for everybody in your household, then make lunch, prepare all of the snacks that you need to, then when you come home, prepare, cook, and eat dinner? What's preparing and cooking dinner, right? About an hour, give or take, then eating, about another half an hour, give or take, then digesting your food. So you're talking like like a 3-hour adventure just for eating, right? And I mean, who's got that kind of time every single night? Right? That's why I love talking about meal prep. You take the Sunday and you just bang it out. You take, I'm not going to lie to you. It does take a lot of time and effort. And, it's most of our Sunday, gone by the wayside. But, quote unquote, by the wayside, because it's using the time now to give us extra time later. I don't know about you, but for me, when I'm working day shift, I wake up at 3:30 in the morning. There is not a lot I feel like doing at 3:30 in the morning. I can promise you that. Let alone when I want to wake up and cook myself breakfast and lunch every single day. Oh man, get out of Dodge with that one. No way. So that's where I talk about that's why I love talking about meal prepping, because meal prepping in the morning just gives me one less thing to worry about, right? If I've got a lot of things to worry about already, making lunch and breakfast should not be one of those. And then when I come home from my 10-hour day, right, I don't really feel like cooking and spending another 2 or 3 hours in the kitchen cooking and eating dinner. That's where meal prep comes into play, and it's so amazing. You just make, and meal prepping is nothing more than, making like a pasta, where you just make a trove of pasta, or what do? We do stir fries, right, where we just chop up all of the vegetables that we have in the fridge, throw it on a thing of rice, make some chicken with it. Actually, we're going to be using turkey now because we still have like half a bird left in the fridge. It's crazy. But That's it, right? And it just gives us so much extra time throughout the week. It gives us so much less to think about and to worry about, because that's what it is, right? When we have a lot to worry about already, what are the two things that you don't really necessarily think about, that aren't necessarily at the forefront of your mind? Nutrition and sleep. And if we are very much caring about our sleep, it's going to be nutrition that goes by the wayside. So that's where not only will meal prep help you out with giving you less to think about, but it'll also be a help to your wallet. So you won't have to stop and get food, on the way or while you're at work or on the way home, right? So definitely, meal prep is so good. I will definitely take all comers that tell me that meal prep does not help their lives, because the only way that meal prep doesn't help your life is if you're not doing it, or you're not doing it properly. And I don't even know how you can not do it properly, so I would just say that you're not doing it. Number 4, make time for you. Make sure you make time for yourself, right? Schedule in time for yourself, right? You know your schedule. We've already talked about knowing your schedule, so you know what's happening throughout your week. So therefore, you know where you can carve out at least, right? Maybe it's only 15, 20 minutes. Maybe it's a nice, couple hour chunk that you can really indulge yourself in something. But you know where you've got a little bit of extra time to play with, or where you can move things around to give yourself a little bit of extra time. But definitely make time for yourself, because this is one of the things that I talk to Tina about all the time, is because she really does this. She is so much caring about everybody else before herself. And as long as everybody else is taken care of, she is fine, because there's, it doesn't matter about her. But that's the wrong attitude to have, because how can you take care of everybody else if you're not taking care of yourself? There is going to come a point in time where you need to care for yourself, or you're not able to care for others, and that's where you need to care for yourself. Not that caring for others is a bad thing. You should definitely always try and care for others no matter what. And this is where I love Tina so much, because she got such a big heart. She loves everybody no matter what. And I mean, I do learn tons from her all the time. But at a certain point, we need to make time for ourselves. We need to do things that are nice for ourselves. And that doesn't even have to have anything more to do with than, you take yourself out for a nice meal that you like. Maybe you go for the walk in the nice forest. I'm looking out at the trees right now, and they've got that nice fall look to them, right? The yellow and the orange and the hint of green leaves on it. And it's awesome, and I love it. So, right? Schedule in time for yourself. Make time for something that you like to do that makes you happy. And that way, you can go out and rock out the rest of the world and make everybody else happy. Number 5, go to sleep early. This one is kind of like, do today, but also do all the week, right, if you can. The National Society for people that decide what is healthy for us have decided that about 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night is sufficient for our bodies to perform at an optimal level. Now, let's get real here. We don't always have an extra 8 hours to sleep, right? And that's why to get our sleep, we can't always sleep in later. Right? I don't know about you, but for me, I tend to set my alarm clock right as late as I can, and I don't always have time to sleep in later. But what I can do is go to sleep a little bit early, right? And that's something that we can do, that we can actually, consciously control. We can control what time we go to bed at. Maybe not all the time. Certain things happen and life happens all the time, right? I'm not going to tell you that everything happens all the time, sunshines and lollipops. But when you can, going to sleep a little bit earlier and getting that sleep that you need is going to be so much more beneficial for you in the long run, and just help it. It's like a car with gas, right? If you are constantly not filling up your tank full, you are eventually going to end up, right, if you fill up your tank 3/4 and then the next time you fill it up half, next time you fill it up 1/4, right, and we're constantly not filling it up all the way, we're going to end up where we have no fuel left in our car. And you already know this, right? When you've got no fuel left in your body, when you are tired and groggy and don't really care about life, it is so much harder to deal with everything that happens. So go to sleep a little bit earlier, let your body catch up on some sleep, and I mean, it will help you so much more. You know, at the very least, it'll make people want to be around you again. My last tip more than anything is essential oils. I have a couple oils here actually, and the first one I have is a blend called Island Mint. And I actually love talking about this one, and especially in a situation where we're trying to get prepared for the week, right? It's an Island Mint. So think about this is what I love about doTERRA. You can pretty much figure out what the blend is good for based off the name, right? So it blends the islands, right? The Jamaican calmness of the islands with the mint family, right? The uplifting, invigorating, stimulatingness of the mints, right? So you get that calming, relaxing, uplifting, and invigorating all at once, right? And it just kind of kicks you in the face, right? Like that. And that's actually one of my new favorite blends. Came out a couple years ago at convention, and I love it. My next one here is adaptive, and adaptive is a perfect one. Again, the name, right? Adapting to different situations and getting prepared for the week ahead, right? As much as we can do everything we can to be prepared, to have a plan, it is always best to be able to adapt to certain situations and when life throws you curveballs and you need to, well, take a different position. That's all I got for you for today. I really hope you enjoyed this. I know I had some fun making it. Feel free to share this with your friends, a family member, perhaps somebody from your team that you feel needs to hear this. If you'd like to learn more about essential oils or how to get your hands on some of this cool stuff that I'm talking about, or if you'd like a free sample of oils just to get your hands on a little taste tester before you make a full-on commitment, definitely reach out to me, drop me a comment, send me a message saying meet, and we'll get you rocking and rolling. Thank you so much for joining me. I really hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day and an even better week ahead. And I look very forward to talking to you again. I love you guys. Bye for now.